time to move on now to our rants and raves, starting with you, Dan.
I have a rave for the students of Pittsburgh High School in Pittsburgh, Kansas, who work on the school paper. Let me make sure I've got the name right. The Booster Redux. The Booster Redux did a profile on their new principal, a woman named Amy Robertson, and they certainly weren't expecting anything other than a normal puff piece for the incoming principal. And as they began questioning her, they realized that there were some odd aspects to her background that she couldn't explain. And it turned out that much of her background had been concocted. She was she did not have the qualifications that she claimed to have. And pretty soon, she was not going to be the new principal. Terrific piece of work by the kids. These things often get shut down when student journalists try to do this, but they were able to go ahead and do the reporting, and good for them.
They get a lot of traction off of that.
Shout out to their faculty advisor for that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, Josh.
I have a rant and a rave. The rave is for ProPublica, which is, of course, a great investigative outfit that has been doing a lot of great coverage on the Trump administration, as they did in the Obama administration. Earlier this week, they uncovered the fact that in Donald Trump's trust, in which he has placed his companies, there is language that actually allows him to withdraw all the money from it at any time he wants without ever reporting it. That seemed like a noteworthy thing, given the criticism that he's faced for not producing enough distance between him and his companies. Sean Spicer, when asked about it later this week, this is where the rant comes in, they said, oh, you can't trust everything that comes out from a left-wing blog like ProPublica, which is a very interesting way to describe a multi-Pulitzer Prize-winning, the best investigative...
Unlike the right-wing blog Breitbart, which is completely...
So just it's of a piece with this continued campaign that everything that comes out in the press, if you don't like it, it is fake news, it is a left-wing blog, it's a remarkable undermining of a democratic tradition.
All right, Jennifer.
I have a rave for Bridge Magazine, which is out of Michigan. It's sort of a public policy magazine, and they've been doing a news bubble swap experiment where they get some of their readers who are Republican and some of their readers who are Democrat to write down all of the news sources that they consult or listen to every day, and then they swap, and it's the honor system, but if you're the liberal and you have the Republicans' news feed, you have to do exactly what they say they do. So if they wake up in the morning and they turn on Fox News, that's what they have to do. And then if they go to the office and they pick up the Wall Street Journal, that's what they have to do. If they log on to the Drudge Report in the afternoon, that's what they have to do. And vice versa.
How long?
And that for a week.
Oh, wow.
And so the conservatives have to listen to NPR and they have to read the Globe or whatever. And
painful.
They've been running these experiments and, at the end, basically nobody changes their mind. But it is sort of an interesting exercise in forcing people to listen to other opinions and at least think about where the other side is coming from.
Oh, I really think that's a great idea. It's kind of mirroring a little bit of what BuzzFeed is doing with the Outside the Bubble. You read the story and then you click on the bottom and it takes you to a different perspective on the same story.
Callie, you're up.
Yes, okay. So I have a big rave for Samantha's story. It's actually a double rave because she's very interested in this 8,000-word piece that Sam Knight did a few weeks ago for The Guardian, which imagines what happens after the death of the Queen. And he did a massive amount of work going to the archives, looking at precedent, and pulling that together and writing it in, future tense. And what she did was to go talk to him because I realized I'd like to know how did he do that and get all the details of what exact steps he did. And he also gives a little shout out to somebody who had done a similar thing, Evan Osnos. He said he, of the New Yorker, who wrote a story in the future tense about President Donald Trump's first term. Just imagining. And so I thought this was really good because it was documented all the way. And as he said in his piece, the Brits really tend to think of the Queen as if she is 75 years old, and she's 91. And so the inevitability is there, but nobody has really faced it. So
imagine reading that if you were the Queen and going, oh, dear.
Well, I mean, she probably knows
she's probably cool about it.
I think she knows. But anyway, it's great. Good.
Finally, tonight, I have a rant for the Boston Globe, I guess probably one of their headline writers, who today writing about the deliberations in the Aaron Hernandez trial, said that he was a star. I don't see the headline up there, but it says, jurors ready to deliberate star's fate. This is a convicted murderer. He is not a star. He might have been a star one time. He only played, 3 seasons, Ron? I don't know. And he was a good player. But I mean, to call him a star, and by the way, the Herald did the same thing today. He's already a convicted murderer.
That's
He
the
is
problem.
not-
This is the problem with print. They have this
No,
one column space.
this is about sports celebrity, and they can't get it out of their minds.
That's true.
He is still
That's
a
right.
celebrity in the minds of a lot of people, which is why all this attention has come down to the trial, which should be just an open and shut case to begin with. Period.